it would have been in November of 1994. I had moved down here with my cousins to go to college, and I just absolutely loved a deer hunt. And during October of that year, I had gotten my first deer with a bow, and we was excited and everything, and we hunted this little farm. It was an old guy that he would go down to Florida for the winter, so a buddy of ours, he kind of watched over the farm, so we got permission to go in there, as long as you don't tear nothing up. So basically we was all going in there to hunt, but we were watching out for the place too at the same time. And so me and my cousins, back then I didn't have a tree stand, and I do now. I hunt out of tree stands, and I didn't have a climber or anything, but I hunted down on the ground. And it was opening day. It was opening day of gun season, and when we left the house, we left an hour early because we wanted to get there before daylight, because we figured they would run the other hunters would run the deer into us, in the little area where we was at. And so prior to this, we had went in there and scouted and everything, and my cousins were going to hunt on the outside edge of the field, overlooking the fields, to maybe get some shots at deer running by on the field. Well, I went inside the woods about good 100, 200 yards, but I went back in the back of this little woods, and it connected up to this great big section of woods, like a deep section of woods. But in this area that I picked out, I was standing up on a ridge top, and I was overlooking an area that looked like a bowl, like like a depression in the ground, a bowl. And there was 4 ridge tops that come in there, and I was standing on one of them, but there was one to my left, there was one to my right, and one straight across from me. But if anything come in there, they would come in within 30 yards, and I'd have a perfect shot, perfect broadside shot. If they come down any of the 4 ravines, I'd have a shot at them. So that morning, when we left the house, it was real foggy, and down here where I'm at, the fog is really, really bad. Like, it's like driving in a bowl of milk when you're trying to drive through this stuff. It's like you got to go real slow and turn your brights off and try to make your way down the road. Well, this was one of those particular mornings when it was just super, super foggy, and it was overcast as well. I remember that. And when it's overcast and foggy, it's not only dark, it's dark. Like, you can't see your hand in front of your face or nothing. And so I decided, when I went in the woods, I was young and dumb and stupid, and I probably shouldn't have done this, but I decided I wasn't going to use a flashlight going in the back in that woods. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. So I'm in the dark, and I'm feeling my way back there, and I get about halfway back, and I hear something. And so I flashed the light on, and I just kept it down, pointed at the ground, flashed the light on, thinking maybe it was a hunter that, I didn't want to get shot. So I flipped it on. I know it's stupid, but I flipped the light on, and it lit everything up around me. And I could see a doe and a little one standing up on like a little rise to my left. And so I shut that flashlight off real quick. And I thought, man, I've already spooked them out of here, because that kind of took off when they seen me. So I thought, man, I've already bloated. I've run them out of here, but I'm just going to keep on going, because I want to hunt, So I get back there. I get all the way back to the back, find my spot, still in the dark. And in this particular spot that I found, there were 4 trees coming up and out of the ground, and you could get kind of in the middle of these 4 trees, and you had like a little natural blind there. So I get in there. I was using an old 20 gauge Remington pump shotgun with a slug barrel on it, and I leaned it up against the tree, and I'm standing there in the dark. And when you're standing in the dark, I mean, time, time, you don't know really what the time is, because it could be a minute or 2 or whatever. But it seemed like I was there for maybe 10 minutes at the most. And off to my right, where this ridge is to my right, is where the deepest part of the woods is, and I hear movement coming. And I'm thinking, oh man, this is going to be good, because the hunters must be moving in here, and they're trying to run a deer in here, or they're going to run the deer in here to me, And so this thing comes down the hill, and it gets right past me. It gets just right past me at probably, I don't know, if you're looking at the clock, it'd probably be at about the 11 o'clock position, just past me. And it's standing there, and it got real quiet. And so I'm looking down in the dark. You can't see it at this point in time. You can't see a silhouette, nothing. You can just hear it walking down in there. So it's no more than 20 yards. It may have even been a little closer than that to me. And so I'm looking down in there, and then all of a sudden, these eyes just appeared in the dark, and they was glowing, and they were like an amber color, like an amber yellow color, and they had these black slits in them. And when I first saw it, my first thought was, "Are you really seeing this?" And my best way to describe it to you is they were about the size of a like a tennis ball maybe, and they were I don't know, they was probably 6-8 inches apart, and they were probably up. I'm guessing they was probably up off the ground about 8 feet, and
Man.
so it's looking right up. It looks right up at me, and I'm thinking to myself, am I really seeing this? Am I really seeing this? Like it's not computing. And I'm thinking the only thing I can think of that looked like it was Felix the cat. You remember those old clocks? That's the Felix the cat with the
Yeah.
eyes that move
Hmm.
back and forth. Well, that's what it looked like, but a yellow, like ambery color to it. And so I'm sitting there looking down at it, and then while I'm looking at it, all of a sudden, it's not like, I don't know. It's they call it mind speak or whatever. I don't know. Maybe mind's playing tricks on me or whatever. But at first I thought, well, that somebody's coming here with coal miner lights on, and they're messing with me, trying to run me out of here. But the thing about the eye shine, it wasn't eye shine. It was like a bioluminescence, I guess you could call it. So it was lit up. You know what I'm saying? It didn't light anything up around it. That was the weird thing about it.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It didn't light anything up around it.